And good morning, guys. Hopefully everybody had a good weekend. Got some relaxation, watched some ball games. Wasn't much action with crypto all weekend until about 9 o'clock last night. And we shot up to about 66K. We will discuss that later. But let's get right into the analyst of what's going on in these markets today. So I've been spamming these in some of the servers, this new indicator that I wrote, and I'm pretty happy with how it's working right now for the back testing. And it really brings some new color to the background as well, so I'm pretty happy with that. There's a lot of logic and stuff going on behind these things, which I'll explain, in the later video, but I'm going to do my best to get through these TAs using this new system and and integrating it into our Omni family. So let's take a look at SPY. Put him up there first. So we got SPY. SPY's trying to get past this 469 zone, and then then we'll see into these highs, the 480s or whatnot before Christmas. 480 before Christmas if SPY wants to keep being bullish. So right now we have Omni range, but let me ask you guys, do you want me to call it Omni range or do you like NESI? Because a lot of people still call it NESI, and I call it NESI myself. It's easy off the tongue. It's a little different though when you say Omni range. I don't know, right? And then this bottom one, this Omni V Core, right? Well, this is just a weird title anyways. I want someone to come up with a name for it, right? And just be creative. We've been creative with this NESI one, so let's be creative with this one down here. Anywho's, so NESI, we'll call it that for now, is needs to stay over 467.82. We might see a little more reaction happen if we drop below that for a sell side, right? And it wouldn't make it wouldn't be surprising if that happened, because we are already in the overbought area right now. We're not as overbought as we were, right? But it's still a little overbought according to this new indicator down here, showing that there's a high level of overbought signals coming from volume, and we're seeing it on multiple time frames. So we might see some take profit this morning. I still wouldn't be surprised if we get low into the 463s. Last week we did hit that 462. That was predicted on that Monday. You can see this peach area here on the Omnivore is showing that this oversold level, and that's why it bounced. This oversold level on the volume. So those are things that we're practicing and we're correlating in with the line as well. And when to get the best exit. So obviously we're going to play this unless it breaks this line. Okay, it's 467. So if we do get above the 469, let's just say 470, then we can get into the 480s. Okay, but until then it could be choppy and it could be going lower. So just hold on to your high ends when it comes to SPY this week. We are getting closer to the holidays. I expect maybe this week only to be an active week, and then after that it's going to slow down a little bit. So the next one that we're going to take a look at was AMC. AMC hit my radar this morning, and it's still kind of showing the same thing on the Omnis. Is we're having this a little bit of a trend happening right now. When you start seeing peaks, that's when we need to be concerned. Like we have a peak right here, we have a resistance level here at this 4070. So we need to get over that. So we get over 4070, then we can get into maybe 41, maybe 42. It looks like it's squeezing on the bands. A squeeze usually happens, for an extended period of time. There's really no way to know when, except we know that the levels that it does break, for instance, this previous support here or resistance here, if it breaks that, we're going to see a bigger reaction happen, and that's where that test is happening. And it's going to be the same thing once it does get to $43, which if we look at $43 and we look at that on the bands, we're seeing about the same, $43.50. So those are areas that it could reject from. Now if we do break this this line right here that's been bouncing back and forth off the NSE at $38, we'll just say 39 because it's so close. If we break that 39, which I've talked about before, then we're gonna wait until to get into a better entry. Right now it's a 50-50. 50-50, a little bit higher on the sell side than it is on the buy side. All right, so we're gonna take a look at Disney. Disney got smoked. We're getting all these beautiful colors coming through, and we're just looking for, our entry. So what's cool about this new system that I have is, even if it is in these lower areas like it is right now, we're still going to wait for NSE to render a line that's going to show higher activity for a buy. And the way I was telling the guys in the server last night is, imagine if you were putting fish food in a fish bowl, and it's immediately all the fishes come up and they eat the food. And that's basically what happens with algorithms in these tickers, these instruments, is as soon as there's a reactive price area, they all jump on it. So that's kind of what I'm waiting for when it comes to NSE. If we don't get a reaction off this 10-minute, then we're going to get into a range where it starts just range trading, where it just bounces back and forth from 165 to 160, somewhere around there. Nothing really exciting. And we do see resistance here at 162. So this was a level that was holding a support before rejection, and we have it here as well, 161.42. NSE has a little lower than me. So we would right now we're 50-50 basically. So if this thing starts breaking down in this lower, we might see a reaction on this 10-minute, and that's when we can get into this entry. We're gonna wait for that to happen before we get into any entry with Disney, because there could be a higher sell side too. So always important to watch for that. PLTR, right? Planetary Technologies got smoked, right? They got smoked last week. Usually this is what happens. A stock gets smoked, it consolidates for a little bit of time, and then we get a reaction. So we're waiting for a reaction from Planetary. A lot of people are focusing more on these overbought stocks. I'm looking at these oversold ones, right? And we had an oversold signal down here on this 10-minute, and we're testing this line here at 22, we'll say $23. So over 23.18, we're going to see a bigger reaction happen, a little bit of resistance, and then it's smooth selling after that. So if we can get up to 24, that might be a nice little 24 call this morning. I would just be mindful of this level, this 23. You don't want to fall into a decay either. So if it can't break this 23.17, then it's going to keep going lower, and you're going to fall into that decay of options. So, and that's why options is so risky, is because even when it looks like a bounce, it could take forever for the price to, the price to react like we need it to get our decay from happening. So that's what we got. So a critical level for this guy is 22.56, which is a little lower than what I'm seeing on the NSEs. That's okay. And if it breaks below that, then we got 21.19 and a little bit in that $20 range. So we're getting to the bottom actually on PLTR. So it is going to have to go back up pretty soon. Now let's take a look at, there was another one, Peloton. Peloton got smoked as well, and it's been consolidating in the oversold zone on the bands down here, right? And you can see when this happens, the deviated area was a lot lower, and now it's getting right back into that mean. So we're almost like a 50-50. You can kind of see that on both of these charts here. And there was a sell side right here where they were pushing it up and they rejected it at this 51.26, so we'll keep note of that as well. So really we're waiting for another 10-minute render down here to equal a buy for us. So right now it's 50-50, so we're just going to wait on Peloton. Now if it does break above this 51.37, then we can probably get into some calls and maybe get you know, this is a little high here, $60. I mean, let's see what else we got here. 54, another 70. So yeah, we could probably get in some longer 80 calls if this thing gets above this $52 range. Okay, so Snap, checking that one out real quick. And again, it's just I'm looking at the oversold ones right now, and then we'll take a look at tests and whatnot. So same thing, you know, it bounced here. It was a way deviated price from the mean, so you know it's trying to move its way back, kind of similar to what happened to PLTR and or I'm sorry, Peloton. So again, you know, it's showing a buy right here. There was a buy here on this level, right, and another buy picked it up. And so it's showing bullish. It's still a little bearish on this higher time frame though. So it's almost like they're saying they want to retest this evaluated area sometime today or this week at 55.60. So once we get over 55.60, we might see a new evaluation for, let's say, $65 calls. So it's kind of in a range right now. You can see it's been going sideways. Anything under you know, $50 or you know, $53 would probably be a sell. All right. See, this is going pretty fast now with this new system. So NVIDIA, we can take a look at real quick. We talked about the 330s. We got really close to them. We talked about that last week, 330s. Now, the question is, does NVIDIA want to keep pushing up? Well, it does have room, right? If it does, it gets up to 318. That's one area, and if it's bearish, then back down to 293. So we're kind of looking at this 50-50 as well, and that's usually what you see sometimes in the pre-markets, are 50-50s. A little bit of noise. Let's see if we got anything to clear that up on the line. There we go. So a little bit of support here at 305.02. That's kind of what we're looking at right now. Another resistance at 305. So I would say over 306. How's that showing that? How's that oh, okay, it is 306. Okay. Oh, yeah, my support. Yeah. So 305 stays over 305, which it's doing right now. If we can do that, then we can probably get up to those 316s, 318s, which maybe they'll try to push it up there at 318 before they drop the hammer. So 318 would probably be pretty close to this level. Yeah, it's going to be interesting what happens at 318. Let's say that. All right, Netflix, man, it ripped. Kudos to the guys that, you know, followed the call in the voice chat. Made quite a bit of money on Friday with those lottos. It was a little, you know, you have to be careful with, you know, lottos because they can lose value so quickly with options. So you don't want to hold too long, and then if you do, then you're, you know, you might get yourself in trouble. So we're looking at Netflix to see if there's any sells rendering yet. Nothing yet. So there is a little support here that we can go off. This back one here at 675 seems pretty familiar. So it has another resistance here at this 690. So I think we might push up to 690 this week, or this morning, and then we'll see what happens from there. If it can't hold 690, then we're not going to worry about, you know, in the 700s yet, because then it might go into a range chop or something. So you can tell it's already overbought, you know, in both situations. So this is a high probability of the price to drop on the open. MU, another one that we called out, it was at 72 or something, and I mean it's at 77, pretty much say 78, still showing bullish on both NESI, and it's just been stair-stepping. It is getting a little overbought though, but there is a little tiny bit of room right here at this 80, so maybe they're pushing it to 80. and then we'll see if they want to push it any more. Let me see if I can find a closer support. This is a nice thing when you have the premium account for TradingView. You can sometimes get a closer support. Man, it's just been holding a buy for a long time though. No reaction yet, so a little bit more reaction here. So here we go, it's 77.68. So if it breaks 77.68, which is showing a little overbought right here, then 77.68, we break that, then we're going to go back down to 75. We break that, we're gonna go back down to 71. So we'll see if they want to keep pushing it up. It could go all the way up to 82, 80, 85 by the end of the week. So MU might be all right for longer term calls. It's just to wait for the flush out to happen at 9:30, and then we'll try to get into some more calls on it. Facebook, I mean, another one that we called and it's been tearing up too. So we have a little bit of resistance here at this 347, 344. It's that's where it's touching right now. You can see this level here, these two dips. We're showing these overbought situations or oversold, and then it started bouncing up into a trend. And you can see on this V-Core how it was doing that. So it was oversold right here on this bottom right chart, and then it started climbing up. Then there was a render for a sell, then it came back down, did the same thing, then it had a really bigger sell here, right at this peak, which is important, watching these peaks happen, right? So, and then it bounced here, and now we're kind of waiting to see if Facebook is going to do the same thing. Now, if the line renders higher than this previous line, that's a bullish move. If it goes lower than the previous line, that's a bear move, right? Showing overbought, of course, on a 30-second, but our 5-second chart. So again, it's been on a long buy as well. Okay, there we go. So we got a little bit of support there in this 2 minute at 343.44. And I apologize, guys, for the why it's taking so long to get Nessie. Obviously the V-Core thing did kind of pop up this weekend, but I haven't forgotten. And the thing is, right, is once it is released, it's going to be magical. So it's going to be worth the wait. And guys, look, if you don't have the algorithms yet, this is a good time to get into them. I got to throw this plug in any moment I can, but hit the website, click what package you want. A lot of you guys will choose the basic package that's only for the Omni line, right? It's not for Nessie. So if you want Nessie, you got to go into the premium package, right? And that thing runs $40 a month. And another thing is Black Friday is coming up. We're gonna have some sales on the algorithms. We're also gonna have our affiliate link ready for Black Friday on TradingView. This is important, guys. If you're trying to get that premium, those sexual charts that have the 15 seconds and whatnot, you can do that when you have a premium account. Plus you can then have multiple alerts. I'm not sponsored or anything by TradingView. I do love their premium though, and when Black Friday comes around, I'm gonna be hitting the credit card up and buying that annual, because the annual is like $250, and usually it's like $600. So it's worth the money. When Black Friday, I think it starts tomorrow or today or one. I mean, just pay attention to TradingView. They'll be popping up Black Friday links and stuff. 60% off is what they're saying. So take advantage of that. All right, one more thing to look at. Do you want to look at Tesla real quick? I know you guys love Tesla. So we had an oversold zone here, but Omni didn't really or Nessie didn't pay attention to it. So we will keep mindful. This means that they don't see this as a buy yet. They might want to drop it down here at this 950 zone first to see if they can get more interest in this buy. Okay, Musk keeps saying and Aganon, selling more shares. So maybe they're pushing it lower. New evaluation might be this 950. So I would say it's still the safe move to not play anything over 1030. If you don't play over anything 1030, it's a short. If you play anything over 1030, it's a long, and then you can look at the you know, maybe the 1100s, but that would be a range because we're interfering right back into that zone we did before. So watch out when it comes to Tesla. Let's look on a higher time frame. Let's just see if we're looking overbought. So we've been overbought, you know, you can see for a while on this trend, and it's been trending overbought, right? And the line's way down here at this 792. So if this thing starts wanting to flip, then we could see a bigger impulse to sell, and that's kind of what we're seeing here. And when we get into the pink zone right here, this is that buy zone, but we gotta let that thing form first and see when it makes its peak, right? So it starts out first and it still kind of drops, but when it makes that peak, that's what we're looking for. It hasn't made that peak yet. Little peak here, that's when it bounced. So that's what we're looking for when it comes to this Omni V-Core. Guys, we have to come up with a better name. So yeah, so switching through, and again, you know what? I woke up and this is, I'm like on the charts, and this is how quick it is when you're, you know, doing your technical analysis with these algorithms. You can just do them so fast. I haven't even looked at anything, the news, Discord, or nothing, and I just go right into the analyst. So we have this level here, that one that we were talking about, 1031, 1032. That needs to bounce. Since it is getting a little oversold, we might see that happen, or it might drop to 950. So we're gonna see what happens at the on the open, and we're gonna wait till about maybe 945, 950 to get into some calls if it does get above that. One last thing to look at was Bitcoin, which I was talking about in the beginning of the video, is that we hit 66,000. We didn't hit our 70,000, but we are still trending up to hit 70,000 and more. So right now showing bullish, maybe a trend could happen here, kind of similar with what happened here, where it was low on this V-Core, right? And then it went up into a trend, okay? And then it sold here, right? When it got to this level. So we could be doing the same thing. So really we're testing a support right now, which is great that the algorithm did this for us. We have a couple supports here. We're gonna go with you know, the 65.3. We break 65.3, we might go down to 62 again. We break 62, then we get back down to the 57, 58. We've talked about this level before, guys. It's a pretty important level. So the resistance is pretty strong as well at that 66,000. So I would say somewhere around, let's see if we can find something a little closer to give you guys a little bit more resistance. It's 66 and we got 65, so 66, 65, there you go. So if it breaks below this level right here, this 65, 121, it's gonna go lower. It gets above 66.4, it's gonna go higher. All right, guys, I appreciate the love and support from all of you. And, you know, there's going to be times in these next coming weeks and months that could be rough for some people. But, you know, just keep pushing, keep moving, right? Remember, we're human beings. We're not robots. We can create our own destiny. And that's all I got for today. See you guys on Wednesday. Peace.